Hey guys, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Chanel Sublimage concealer, and I have been using the concealer for the past 10 days. This is a very expensive product from Chanel, their most expensive concealer, and that's why I wanted to give myself a little bit of time so that I can properly test the concealer and I can give you all the pros and the cons of the concealer so that you can make an informed decision if this product is going to be the right one for you or not. If you're new here and you love beauty talks, be sure to subscribe. I would love to have you here. I also have new French beauty series on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to make sure to link those in the description box below. There I share with you my French beauty secrets, and I pretend to be French for a day. So let's go ahead and get started with the review of the new Chanel Sublimage concealer. As I'm talking, I'm going to insert some photos of close-ups of the concealer in the packaging because I want you to take a closer look at the concealer. In most European countries, this concealer retails for €100, and in the US it's a little bit more affordable. It's $95. However, let's say that the price is quite similar in Europe and in the US. You're getting 10 grams of product. The Sublimage foundation contains 30 grams of product. So with the concealer, you're receiving 1/3 of the foundation. I have to say that the amount that you receive is quite generous because a little goes a long way with this concealer. On Chanel's website, the concealer is described as a radiance revealing skincare concealer, creamy and lightweight. Its exceptional hydrating formula melts onto the skin and instantly illuminates the eyes. It corrects the appearance of dark circles and smooths fine lines without creasing, all while caring for the delicate eye area. Available in 10 shades that offer a luminous finish and buildable coverage for sublime eyes that look rested instantly and throughout the day. Now, this is what Chanel are saying about the concealer, and let me go ahead and share with you my initial thoughts on the concealer. Actually, this is not initial thoughts, but it's 10 days after first starting to use the concealer. So I've used it for 10 days, and I have to say that first of all, the packaging was truly exceptional, exactly what you would expect from Chanel and from Sublimage. It comes in this beautiful box. I'm going to make sure to zoom in the ingredients so that you can see what you're actually getting here. In terms of amount, I think that you're getting a generous amount of product here. 10 grams of product is enough, and a little goes a long way with this concealer. This is a concealer that I would say is almost full coverage. We all know that Chanel never really does full coverage because this is not the philosophy of Chanel's makeup, but I have to say that you're getting a great amount of coverage here. So it's almost a full coverage concealer, and it definitely is going to conceal dark circles, pigmentation, discoloration on the skin. I decided to choose the shade 10 because I wanted to use this all over my face, and I wanted to use it as all over the face concealer. There are 10 shades, and I think that this is going to match most skin tones. Now, there is one shade 02 which is paler, a lot paler than the shade number 10. However, if I were to purchase the 02, I would only be able to use it under my eyes, and since this is a very expensive concealer, I thought that I want to have a concealer that is going to be closer to my skin tone so that I'm able to use it all over my face as an all over the face concealer, and that's how I'm going to get the most of my money. So I think that the shade number 10 matches my skin tone quite well, and I always wear Chanel's foundations in the shade 10. Okay guys, now moving on to the application, and first I'm going to start with a light base. I'm going to use just a little bit of the Chanel Numero 1 de Chanel foundation because I don't have any of the Sublimage foundations currently, and I'm going to use that much. Probably I'm not even going to use. I squeeze like 1/3 of a pump. I'm just going to blend it. I want to have a light layer of foundation, and I'm going to try and keep this area clean so that you can see how this Sublimage concealer is going to perform. For a shade, I'm using B10, and I'm always using B10 of Chanel's foundations. except for the CC cream because it's paler. Okay, so this is the amount of foundation that I want to apply. I'm just going to go ahead and brush my brows to feel better about myself. Whole application process of the Sublimage concealer is a little ritual. So I would say that it's not very convenient for those mornings when you are rushing to get ready, when you're in a hurry. It's not going to be very convenient because really you have to open the jar, you have to take the little protective lid. Okay, so this is how it looks, and you have to always be careful not to spill the product, and somehow it's a whole ritual that it takes longer. So I'm going to get that much, and this is plenty. Actually, I'm not even going to use it. Everything. So you have to close the lid, close the concealer so that it doesn't stay exposed to oxygen for too long. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by placing a tiny dot here, and I think this alone is going to be enough for my under eye area. I'm just going to take my ring finger and continue the dots. And where is the little brush? I'm going to take the brush and start blending the concealer. The brush is excellent. It's very convenient, and it has a little sleeve, so this is going to be very convenient for times when I'm traveling. Okay guys, so this is how it looks. I'm going to dot just a little bit here because I have light mark left from spot, and I have to say that it immediately sinks into the skin so beautifully, and the coverage of the concealer is, I would say it's more like a full coverage concealer. Not incredibly full coverage, because I don't think that Chanel have a product that has like a typical full coverage, but for Chanel this is a really high coverage concealer and it covers a lot. So I'm going to use also a little bit on my chin. What I love about this concealer is that the finish is spectacular. It's not glowy and it's not matte. It looks exactly like skin. And this makes it suitable for all skin types, I think. And at the same time, I don't feel the need to set the concealer with powder. It's just not glowy and it's not matte. So it just is a beautiful product that I'm never going to use early in the morning, because I'm going to be afraid that everything is going to become a mess, because in the morning I just want to apply my makeup very quickly. So I'm going to be using this concealer more like a beautifying ritual, more when I have time, when I feel relaxed, and when I can really take my time doing my makeup. Okay, so you can see here without the concealer and with the concealer, I think that you can definitely see the difference here. I have some darkness going on here because I kept this area clean. I did not apply foundation here right under my eye, and I think that you can see clearly the difference here, here and here. Now let's go ahead and apply also under the other eye. I think I applied way too much, so I'm just going to use my finger to blend. So most of the time when I'm applying the concealer, I just like to warm it with my finger first, and then use the brush to get this really flawless blending and application. Now a little goes a long way with this concealer. The issue that I have is that you are opening this every time when you are applying the concealer. So I don't know for how long the ingredients are going to last and be beneficial for the skin, as well as one issue that I used to have with the Sublimage concealer is that it actually starts to dry. So if you have the Sublimage concealer in a jar, you probably know that once you open it, you better use it. So this concealer cannot be saved for a very long time, because when you open the jar, you're exposing the whole product to air. So I would say that don't save it for special occasions. If you have it, if you buy it, just use it on a daily basis. Okay, now I'm going to quickly finish off my makeup. First comes brows, because I need to fill them in a little bit. And then I'm going to be using some products from the new Chanel Holiday 2022 makeup collection. Now, I cannot say that I'm pleasantly surprised, because for this price, and since this is a Sublimage product, I was having high expectations for this concealer. And it is a beautiful concealer. It definitely wears beautifully throughout the day. It covers dark circles well, and it performs beautifully both under the eyes and all over my face. I have been testing this concealer with different foundations. I have to say that it is almost like high medium coverage concealer. It's more of a full coverage concealer, and that's why I cannot really use it, and I do not enjoy using it without any foundation, because I can see it on the places where I use it. So I definitely find that I prefer to have a light layer of foundation, of some kind of a base or a tinted moisturizer, a very light base, and then use the concealer. And I can very successfully conceal under my eyes and also all over the face. Having worn the concealer for the past 10 days, I have to say that the performance is very good. It wears off during the day, but it wears off beautifully during the day. It doesn't crease, and it does not emphasize my fine lines under my eyes. So my issue with my under eye area is that I have little fine lines around here and under my eyes, so it does not emphasize my fine lines. It doesn't stick into my fine lines. However, I find that I have to blend it well, because if I apply too much, it tends to, over time, it tends to stick into my pores. So I have to really make sure to thin the layer, to make the layer thin on my skin. Otherwise, if I build it up on my face, on places where I have pores, this is the only issue that I've had, it tends to emphasize a little bit my pores. In terms of finish, I think that the finish is absolutely gorgeous, because it's not glowy and it's not matte at the same time. It has the exactly skin-like finish, which allows me to not set the concealer with powder. I've tried it when I set it with powder, and I've tried to wear it on its own without setting it with powder, and it wore beautifully throughout the day. It applies beautifully on top of foundations as well. Overall, it's a very good concealer. However, it is definitely not one of my top 3 concealers, because the packaging of this concealer, as you would expect, and as the Sublimage foundation, it is quite messy, and it takes time when you start applying the concealer. I really like that they have included a little brush. The brush is very good quality. I've washed it a few times. Probably 5 or 6 times I've washed it, because I usually wash my brushes on a daily basis. So I've washed it, it survived, it's a lovely little brush, and it's great for blending the concealer and for getting into this area, right into the inner corners of the eyes. I love also the little sleeve of the brush, because it's going to make it very convenient when I'm traveling. I love the little spatula. Now, they could have probably invented something so that I can put the little spatula here, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to lose the spatula very soon. Now, the application of this Sublimage concealer is a whole beauty ritual on its own. It's not something that I'm going to just grab and use in the morning when I'm in a hurry, when I just want to do my makeup. It's more of a beauty ritual, but you would expect that from the Sublimage line from Chanel. It's definitely not a concealer. Like, if this is the only concealer that you're going to own, I would say no, skip it, get something different. If this is your second or third concealer, then I would say go for it. If you're using the Sublimage skincare line, which is quite good in my opinion, there are some products from the Sublimage line that I really love, and you're using the Sublimage foundation one of the Sublimage foundations, then this is going to be a no-brainer for you. You're probably going to want to add the concealer to your collection as well, and it's a beautiful product. However, as I said, not my favorite concealer and definitely not one of my top 3 concealers. The performance is good, but it can be better. It's not something exceptional. This is not a limited edition product, so I would say that if you are in a doubt and if these $95 or approximately €100 is going to be an investment for you, then just make sure to go in store, try it, test it, and test it under your eyes to see how it's going to work on your skin, to see how this is going to react with your skin. Because it doesn't make sense to spend that much money on a concealer and then not use it or end up not liking it. Overall, I like it. However, with the first opening of the jar, it gets messy and I clean it almost on a daily basis, and you can still see some of the foundation right here. Also, every time when you open the jar, it's going to be exposed to air, and a lot of the foundation, like the whole foundation, is going to be exposed to air. So I would say that if you buy this concealer, you better use it. Don't save it for special occasions, because I'm not sure exactly how this skincare ingredients are going to work, considering the fact that every day you're going to be opening and closing the lid and exposing the whole product to air. So let's not talk about the skincare benefits. Apparently, this is a very expensive product. Apparently, this was created for a certain audience. It was going to be much better if this was not in a jar, but if it was in a tube, it was going to be much better, in my opinion. However, Chanel apparently want to keep the whole tradition of Sublimage, and I think that it's going to be a nice ritual. If you can afford it, why not? If it makes you happy, why not? It's a beautiful concealer. Now, I wanted to give you also some alternatives to this Sublimage concealer. I think that the first thing that comes to my mind is an oldie but goodie concealer that I have been repurchasing, and this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, because it has approximately the same amount of coverage as the Sublimage concealer. It is more liquidy, not as thick as this one, but it feels very nourishing under the eyes, and it feels actually very nice under the eyes. It does not emphasize fine lines and still feels quite moisturizing. It's not a full coverage concealer, pretty much the same amount of coverage it's going to give you as the Sublimage concealer, but I believe that it's much cheaper than the Sublimage concealer. I don't remember what was the price, but you can use it all over the face as well. This is one of my favorite concealers, that it is going to be just as good as this Sublimage concealer, but you're having this in a tube. It has a doe foot applicator. The applicator is great. You can apply it on the go, and you don't have to worry that you're going to spill the concealer. As I said, in the morning, this one is going to be quite challenging to use, and for sure, I'm not going to be using this one in the morning. I would use this more like when I get ready for an evening night out, for the theater, for times when I really want to feel more luxurious. Now, it doesn't really have fragrance. I can sense something just very lightly, but it's nothing like the Sublimage foundation. Let me go ahead and smell it. I don't really feel a fragrance, to be honest. No, I literally do not feel any fragrance here. But it really bothers me that much money, just I'm opening the concealer every time, but it's a piece of luxury. Now, the next concealer that I wanted to mention is my favorite Sisley concealer. This one is, I believe, a little bit more expensive than the Chanel concealer. It is more expensive. However, it is a gorgeous concealer. The only downside here is that I only use it under my eyes because it has a peachy shade. This one has only 3 shades, comes only in 3 shades, 1, 2, and 3. I'm wearing the shade 1, and it has a peachy color that's only suitable for under the eyes. It's not really suitable to be used as all over concealer because it is quite brightening. In terms of coverage, this one gives the same coverage. You can see now my arms right now are quite tanned because I'm spending a lot of time outside. in the sun. In terms of coverage, this one is the same. Again, this is a skincare based concealer. I have been using it for more than a month now, and I cannot say that it makes a difference. So if you're buying a concealer for the skincare benefits, I would say don't fall for this. It's only marketing. Get a good eye cream. So the concealer and the makeup and the foundation, these cannot replace a good skincare routine. So it is something additional, but it's more like the luxury kind of marketing strategy of brands. So these three are all very good concealers. This one is a beautiful concealer. I do not regret buying this concealer, and I would not return it. I like the whole ritual of applying the concealer. However, it's not really something that is a must-have. It's not something that I would say, run, buy this concealer because it does something that other concealers don't do. No, it does exactly what most concealers are going to do for you. So it's all going to be up to you whether you want to add this to your collection or not. So I think that was all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to let me know in the comment section, have you tried this concealer? If you've tried it, let us know how it works for you. What is something that you like about the concealer, something that you didn't like about the concealer? Just share your experience, and don't forget to check out the comment section as well, because you guys give amazing reviews of products, and I think that this is what makes my channel so powerful, that all of you are sharing reviews of different products and you're sharing your experience with luxury products, and I think that this helps our whole community. Don't forget to check out my French Beauty Secrets series. I really enjoy filming those, and I'm going to make sure to leave a link in the description box. I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, bye!